Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, August 11, 2023, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We have a reverse aging health call tonight with special guest Michael Thomas on continuing improvements of the Halo system. And a few testimonials. When you are grateful, fear disappears and abundance appears. Anthony Robbins. And what kind of glasses are you wearing as you go through this life? Are you wearing poverty-conscious glasses that only reflect back to you thoughts of lack, deprivation, and financial challenge? Or are you wearing your abundance vision spectacles and experiencing an attitude of gratitude that truly recognizes the divine wealth throughout your day? We invite you to take this moment of your life right now and get really curious about how you are usually seeing the world around you. Now, if you're wearing scarcity glasses, you are unknowingly focusing on what isn't working and worrying about what is missing or lacking in your life. As you see only what's missing, your body, mind, and emotions are permeated with the neurochemicals that create the experience of more fear, doubt, worry, and scarcity. This creates a lower vibration in our bodies, where we can only manifest experiences that reflect back that frequency of difficulty, poverty, and lack. Now, we can choose to take those glasses off and exchange them for new abundance vision. These super clear abundance glasses have powerful consciousness lenses that allow us to perceive what is working, what we are thankful for, where we are successful in this life, and to truly feel the awesome divine energy that surrounds us and permeates our very being. This awesome divine energy that surrounds us and permeates our very being, we no longer have to settle for a hard-working, tough, unloving life where we are just getting by. It is truly miraculous what manifests when we start seeing our world as a place that is full of joy and abundance. As far as people's financial situation, it doesn't really matter what has happened to any of us in the last 10 years ago, or what we're still struggling with yesterday. It doesn't matter if we have loads of money, or are dirt poor, or are happy with just... We can still step into the abundance consciousness now and begin to feel that our life is rich and full of amazing opportunities. The feeling will attract all the money and goodness you desire. It is okay to receive rich things. It's okay. Even if you've never worked a hard day in your life, you do deserve to take an abundant vacation. What matters most is that you do not postpone another moment of your life and put on your abundance vision glasses today and don't take them off. They're almost like they blend in to the skin. They're not removable. Make this positive transformation right now by choosing to say no to poverty thinking. Focus on where the abundance is in your life right now. It may surprise you to find that it is already here, flowing in several areas of your life. Remember that abundance comes in many forms. You can experience an abundance of love, support, creativity, laughter, friends, imagination, space, peacefulness, playfulness, energy, health, positive thinking, money, and the list goes on and on and on for infinity. The surprising truth is that we naturally are the spiritual source of abundance itself. There are no limits on who we are or who we can be. Our very essence is abundant in all ways. And we, as infinite timeless beings, inherently embody an abundance of love, peace, strength, compassion, etc. We portray it at times too. You can see it. Now, since we are abundance itself, all it takes is to experience more abundance is to recognize and give thanks for all of the abundance that is already us. The more we become aware of our truly abundant inner nature, the more outer abundance will show up in our lives. Once we realize and see how abundant we already are, we will be amazed at how quickly we will start to manifest even more abundance to us in the form of financial freedom, amazing relationships, incredible health, or tons of enthusiastic energy. It doesn't matter what situation people are in. It really doesn't. And it doesn't matter what it is that they're experiencing. The bottom line is it's what they perceive and how they focus and what they focus on. It doesn't matter if it's a health issue, money issue, financial issue, happiness, whatever, relationships. It's what they focus on, what we focus on. It seems simple, doesn't it? Then that would seem like that everybody on this planet would be supreme, powerful, manifesting beings that never die. Wouldn't you think, wouldn't you believe, that everybody would be able to manifest anything they want? Unfortunately, because of the deep programming that many of us have received, it's kind of like you're in a trance, and then you come out of it. So that means awakening. You're in this trance, you come out of it. Then you see everything for the first time, and it's shocking. And so no one's ever taught you, or no one programmed you to tell you that you're an abundance machine, that you're a manifester, supreme, powerful, omnipotently powerful manifesting machine, that you can manifest anything you choose. Now, that goes with everything. It's not like one-sided. It's everything, 360 degrees. And so when you manifest things, most of them, I'd say 99% of them, you aren't aware that you did. Could be a passing thought that you visited and left. Could be anything that you generate. It's what you generate on what makes these materialize. Period. The surprising truth is that we naturally are the spiritual source of abundance itself. We have no limits on who we are or what we can be. Our very essence is abundant in nature in all ways. We, as infinite timeless beings, inherently embody an abundance of love, peace, strength, compassion, etc. And since we are abundance itself, all it takes is to experience more abundance, is to recognize and give thanks for all of the abundance that is already you. The more you become aware of your truly abundant inner nature, the more outer abundance will show up in your life. Once you realize and see, you will start to manifest even more abundance to you in the form of financial freedom, amazing relationships, incredible health, or tons of enthusiastic energy. Get out a piece of paper. You can do this. It's an exercise if you choose to. You get out a piece of paper and write down all the different types of abundance that are in your life right now. See, the only purpose of these exercises is to get us focused on things and not so scattered or stretched with so many different avenues and directions that we have engaged ourselves with. So it causes us to focus. So we write down all the different types of abundance that are in our life right now, and then focus on the remaining time on how each one feels in your body when you think about it. Notice how good it feels to have each of these forms of abundance in your world. Allow yourself to be expansive, rich, and free in your body with each form of abundance you find. The last 2 minutes of this exercise are spent in deep gratitude, thanking the universe for providing all of this abundance and joy. Now, a lot of people will say, oh, I've tried that. None of that works. Look at me. I'm still in this. I'm still in that. I'm still experiencing. You know, it's futile. And it is, because that's what they're focused on. As soon as we start, even before we consciously are aware of it, the moment we begin to doubt, to get irritable, hurried, rushed with something that we want, it negates it. It totally takes it away before it even gets to you. And this is patience. And so with this rat race that we have on this planet, and the reason it's a rat race, I've explained before, is that if you look at a colony of rats, they all move together. They're all moving together, sniffing and trying to find any kind of food you can think of. Sniffing and procreating. Eating. And this is this civilization. It's been programmed to do that. And see, only until you, and some people just go to sleep one night, they wake up in the morning, and they've shifted out of the trance. And that's what happens to those of us who are aware and awake to a certain extent. So it means that when this happens, it is because subconsciously we intended it at the specific time. It's not happenstance. It doesn't just happen. It's that you somehow have, or the God within you, through you, has decided it's time to wake up and take in everything around you and see the truth. Now, even those that do that, the ego mind keeps them it's in a trance, a super trance. It's like they don't care to come out of it. They want to stay in it. And if you remember the fourth Matrix movie that they had recently, not too long ago, and they talked about the controller of the whole Matrix talked about the fact that all these people are happy in their cocoons, in their pods, living their lives out in their brain, in their mind, and not knowing that they're basically hooked up like a battery, the power thing. But they like that. They don't care to get out of it. And believe it or not, there's people on this planet that like it. They like to be in that trance. So that's when you talk with them, it's like talking to a wall. You're not going to get any kind of a live response. You're going to get redundancy, irritability, anger, frustration, hesitancy. A lot of things kick in. So therefore, a lot of us have found out that they're on their journey. That's it. They're on their journey. And only, see, this proves when I make this statement that it's only you. It's all about you. It isn't about anything else. It's all about you. Discovering you. Going within. Staying within. Practicing. Doing exercises that help you firm up your comprehension and understanding of focusing on what you want, not what you don't want in this life. It's a shift of mentality and understanding. It's transcendence. Does it make any sense, really, truly, in any circumstances? The circumstances have been generated. This is how powerful we are. Does it make any sense to have anybody on this planet in foulness, right? In degradation, in misery, in sorrow and pain and anguish, in starvation, in destitution, in any avenue? Because we've chosen them all. We've chosen them all. Not only that, we haven't asked properly with any knowledge base for anything and understood what we were doing. Because we asked for something that isn't there. We're asking for something to answer us from outside of us. See? And the people that say, show me a sign. Well, you are the sign. Because you're living. You're existing. You're the sign. How awesome would it be for people on this planet to know exactly who and what they are, to live in the heart-mind, and to accept the fact that they were an omnipotently powerful, supreme, manifesting being that never dies. And they knew that the body was like a suit that they wore, right? And they knew that the body wasn't going to last forever, so they literally embraced every moment of the now with this life. They knew that. It's a proven fact. I mean, you can look throughout history. Whether we lived 3,000 years in the body many, many moons ago, and the fact is that they all left. All those gods left those bodies. And they're buried in the ground and, basically a sack of bones in most cases. So it really is, it's like it's a machine, organic machine. The strangest thing is that because we have this amnesia, we don't have recollection. We're not able to pull on past lives to help us in this life. So we're like dead straight, and that's the holdup with humanity. Now, we didn't do that. That was done to us. These bodies I'm talking about. Now, and then the God, of course, when the God is a high electrical pulse hits the God, the God, you don't have memory. And so it usually lasts through the whole lifetime. And then you leave the body. And you have a new memory of that life. And then the same thing repeats itself over and over. So your library that you have, this huge library about everything that you, the God, has entered, experienced in physical forms and whatever else. This is your private library that you go into, and you can access any detail, anything that you have experienced. Most people don't know how to access it because they are heavily steeped in the ego mind. They're not even close to discovering how to do that. See, and moving in the now and focusing on the breath is the first step. Where you can look at all. You know what's interesting? This is what's interesting. There's so many people on the planet that claim that they're famous. They've reincarnated, they came back. Okay? And they're always famous. They're always famous. Yeah. Some people will say, it's like David Wilcox claimed for a while he was reincarnation of Edgar Cayce and kind of looked like him, and so on and so forth. And you emulate, you that emanates from you. And others that I've talked with say they're Cleopatra or Mark Antony or so many different celebrities and stuff. And in a way, that's the body, that life, is gone. And so when we reincarnate into another body, we're gods, all of us. It doesn't matter who and what you think or believe you were in a past life. That's ego talking. That's all that is ego. What matters is that you're fortunate enough that you got into another body. Period. And then you identify that fact and you stay in deep gratitude for that. How many of us, on a day-to-day basis, take things for granted? How many of us on the surface of this planet take things for granted on a moment-to-moment basis? Strange, huh? Really is. Because we spend more time taking things for granted than we do being in deep gratitude. And it's easy to do for any of us because we have a redundancy in life. Most of us have redundancy in our lives. And the redundancy is like I've said before. We repeat the same things on a daily basis. Every day. We can do it for 30, 40, 50 years, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years. But we do it the same thing every day. And this is like stepping into a room that has no windows and it's got one door, and you go into the room and you walk around in four corners. And you do it every day. But you don't realize it. You don't realize that you do these things every day and have been doing them for years. And then what happens is, when the universe sends you some opportunities or situations, your fear keeps you in that room. You don't go out that room. And it's interesting because as these bodies age currently, what happens is that we withdraw. We don't expand out. We withdraw. Wouldn't you believe that it would be quite the opposite because time's a ticking and you would take more risks? But because of the trance and the conditioning, by the time you get to that point, you're so programmed into a trance, it's unreal. So you will not get out of that trance. Why do you think people become, quote unquote, bored? Well, number one, they don't stay in gratitude. They don't focus on gratitude. They focus on what they don't want most of the time. And they do the same things over and over and over and over again. Period. They don't change, say, I'm talking physically, of movements and directions and so on and so forth. It's like when I was moving so much, it was like every handful of months I was moving to another place, packing up, moving there, stay there for a short period of time, pack up, move here. But it was a new environment every time. It was different every time. And it actually kept things adventuresome for me that I was grateful for. And none of us like to do that. We don't care to have to pack up, move everything to somewhere else. Strange surroundings, whatever. We dread it. We've done it. I mean, most of us have in this life, at least a couple of times. But there's a large number of people that just don't move. They just stay in the bubble. The bubble people. They don't take risks. Everything's got to be safe, secure, guaranteed, and they stay in that bubble. Period. And then they leave the body. And then you have people that worry constantly, but you don't know it. You can detect. You don't come up to people, oh, you're worried constantly. But there's a lot of people that worry constantly. Small, medium, high, very high. And so they really can't enjoy themselves because there's always something that's, so to speak, there's always something they're worried about, stressing about, belaboring. So you can't. How are you going to enjoy your life that way? You can't. You can't, because as soon as they get rid of one of them, it's replaced by another one. And the funny thing is that they're all other people's thoughts. They started out as other people's thoughts. And some of us embrace them, bring them in, give them energy. We create them into physical form, and we in our reality. That's strange. Believing that it was our thought. But it wasn't. We become bored because we lose the understanding of being in deep gratitude 24/7 for everything. I believe it's constant. It's not every now and then. It's not a few exercises and it does it. It's all the time. And that shifts us permanently because it gets us in a focus direction of the opposite of what most of us have usually been in for several lifetimes. And that's focusing on what we want, not what we don't want. And when we do that, we don't believe it. Most people don't believe that. They don't believe what they focus on they get. They think that's silly. Oh, that's that new spiritual movement on the planet. That's crap. But when you look at this population, you look at this planet, at least from a surface value, that's what most of us are doing. We're focusing on everything that's outside of us, not much of what's inside of us. We don't focus on what it is that we are within. We focus on everything outside of us. We're always worried about not getting what we want. And there are some people that just detach themselves. They aren't concerned. They send it out and they leave it alone. And they really don't revisit it. They know. See, then there's another group that fixates on it. Focuses, gets pictures, puts them on the picture board, starts, concentrating. Sometimes that works. Other times it doesn't. Because it is supposed to be effortless. Totally effortless. And it's a gateway to everything else. It opens us up to everything in this life. And it really removes many obstacles that we have put there ourselves. It's like, you ask yourself, what is your relationship with the God that you are? Interesting question. What is your relationship with the God that you are? Because everything stems from that. It branches out everywhere. Now, to be totally honest with yourself, but gentle, kind, generous, and humble at the same time, is to ask, what is my relationship with the God that I am? Do you have one? We're not talking religion, on how we were raised and programmed in religion, man-made religions. We're talking about you, what you feel about the God that you are in that body. See, the body can function, and you can leave it while it's still functioning. Okay? And it's usually when it's asleep. So when the body slumbers, you can leave it. It will be still functioning as long as it's not damaged. Some gods will have their bodies damaged, and they will leave the body and wait until the body has been repaired. Then they will enter the body. Now, you're talking about pure consciousness, of which we are, and we're something more than that beyond pure consciousness, which is the next step of our discovery. After we finally determine and understand that we are the God, which is pure consciousness. We have many avenues to choose for ourselves. When you become loving, intimately loving with yourself, deeply loving and intimate with the God that you are, you have forgiven yourself of all the things that you felt were wrong or didn't go right, or that you made the wrong decision or the wrong turn, or all that stuff that we carry. Some of us, it's like a ball and chain around each ankle. And that's how some of us feel. Because we become so weighted down. And it's all emotionality, and it's all illusion. It's illusion. That's all it is. But we believe the illusion. See, then when we focus on the illusion, we create. It's like we ask ourselves. And this question comes up a lot. It comes up with children. What is God? Who is God? The source of God is the foundation of our very being. It's our essential essence, our true life force, and the very fabric of our souls. When we can fully relax inside ourselves, we create room to fully connect with this divine source, of which is who you truly are. And this is from which every life experience emanates. The deeper we can let go and rest into our body and mind, the deeper we dive down that rabbit hole, discovering that this experience of God is the foundational truth of who and what we truly are. We really are. When we fully realize that God exists inside us, there is a feeling of deep relief like nothing you've ever experienced in your entire life to date. It's as if you were holding your breath underwater all this time and have exploded up to the surface through your first breath of air. You feel like you can take in life in its totality with such a great lightness and buoyancy that you often feel like you're floating on air. See, when we lift our consciousness, we ground it deeply. And to do it, all that is needed is a state of surrender. To completely surrender means we are not only willing to let go of our mind and every thought inside our mind, yet that willingness is also relieved of its duty. We have completely let go. Now this is a continual process, a perpetual release every day. You don't just do it once and say, it's all done, I've released and surrendered. It's where we no longer are holding on tight to anything. Our ego's desires move to the back burner of the stove of our lives. And we trust the synchronistic flow of the universe instead. And trust takes the front burner over desire. And we choose to surrender to each experience. Not because we have to, but because it feels so good. There is this constant merging with what is that feels lighter and more free on the inside from this place. Whatever we want is what God wants. Our will becomes God's will. God's will becomes our will. We become grounded in the divine reality. This grounded, enlightened state only happens through the total, continuous state of surrender. I'll join you in a meditation, and I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. How you treat others shows others how to best treat you. Be ever so gentle, forgiving, and patient with everyone you meet today, as if they were all once little babies in need of love. Who knows, maybe they were, and maybe you were, or still are. Only you know how to best take care of that little one inside of you. Sending you infinite love, gratitude, and joy. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and following morning. We will return here tonight around 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our reverse aging health call. And tomorrow, Saturday, 3:15 p.m., we continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, deepest, eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what's going on within or without.